Greetings, how's it going? This is Coach Fleischer, and for this presentation, we'll be going over basic workout layout. Now, in the previous presentation, we talked about fit, frequency, intensity, and time, and how you can manipulate those variables within a work context of a workout or even the context of a mesocycle. If we look at a specific workout, you come into the gym, you go ahead on bench Monday, and you want to have big bench press day on Monday. The layout is as follows. Usually you'll look at having a generalized kind of warm-up, a more specific warm-up to the body part you're doing or working, have some type of myo work where you work on the myofascia, and then you go into the workout itself with static stretch and a cool down. Now, research is showing that if you're going to be doing more plyometric or explosive type work, power cleans, box jumps, etc., you'd like to push that myo work towards the end because it actually quiets the contractile response, the stretch reflex response seen in the muscle. So if you're looking at doing plyo work, this now gets moved towards the end. But in general, when you look at a workout, it kind of holds this general to specific, simple to complex type mentality we talked about before 2 sessions ago. And you have a generalized warm-up, something you come in, you warm up the body overall, you increase circulation, you prepare the body for the rigors of a workout, and then you do something more specific for your bench press. Right? Because it's bench press Monday. You want to go ahead and work on some type of warm up for the shoulders, the elbows, the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps. Work on some type of myo work. And usually you'll see up in here more dynamic type flexibility work being done. And oftentimes you see guys come in, they're holding on to a piece of equipment, or perhaps they're just kind of mobilizing the shoulder a little bit before their big old bench press. Then they get into the workout itself where they're in the gym jacking some steel, throwing some weights around, doing a heavy bench press. And then at the end, you work on a little bit of, oh man, I'm super swole. I better, go ahead and stretch my chest so I can wash my hair. And then just a generalized cool down at the end. So layout for a workout, you almost have to think of it as like categories, right? So you have the strength training component, the power plyometric component, the cardiovascular component, flexibility, and soft tissue work. And these variables can be moved around, but in general, if you're training for a power-oriented sport and you're training for perhaps explosiveness, you would look to do power and plyometric work on the front end and then strength afterwards. It makes sense, right? You're trying to actually get the central nervous system and the muscles to fire explosively together. And so you're going to do perhaps box jumping, then power cleans, then you would do your strength work afterwards. Otherwise, you don't have the ability to be explosive. You've lost that stretch reflex response. So look at this in terms of the different areas that you're working, right? And you can look at it in terms of how you'd like to lay out those workouts based on those variables, or you can go back and look at, say, if you're going to do a total top to bottom kind of smorgasbord workout, you can do everything alphabetically. Arms, back, chest, core, legs, shoulders, top to bottom. You can break things out. Very common to do push me, pull me, single joint and multi-joint, whether it's like a lat pull down and a tricep push down. So you're working back for the multi-joint exercises, and you're working an antagonistic muscle group like triceps for the single joint exercise. And that kind of plays into the next category, right? So you can almost combine these two. The main body parts that you often see people work on, hey, I'm going to do big chest on Monday, I'm doing arms on Friday before I go out, before I go to the beach. What you're seeing now with our class and what we've had to do a lot of because everything's done online, and I just don't have access to equipment, neither do you, is I'm doing a lot of total body fitness stuff. So it's a lot of calisthenic work. And so far so good from what the feedback I'm receiving. I mean, it is taxing, don't get me wrong, but it's just different than doing arms on one day, back on another day, legs on another day, or chest on Mondays and arms on Friday, and maybe you do a little bit of squatting in the middle of the week. I hope that's not your workout routine, but that's what people do. And oftentimes when you look at sport-specific movements, you're working on particular movement patterns, in essence, trying to refine those movement patterns to increase the athleticism of the person or help them increase their functionality in that movement pattern. Prehab rehab also has its place in here as well, right? You're working on perhaps a PNF pattern for the shoulders. You might be working on clamshell exercises for glute med. It could be any of those. Now, what's important to realize is when you look at your workout, we've stuck with mostly calisthenics for this term. But as you break these out and you start to plan ahead for your workouts, you can view this summer as a 2-month mesocycle, meaning 8 weeks. You have 2 4-week terms, if you will, or an 8-week mesocycle where you did calisthenics. If you're able to get into a gym, then you can break this out into maybe it's 1 month of doing weights. And then the next month you're focusing more on cardio, or perhaps you're doing both weights and cardio and you're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday weights, Tuesday, Thursday cardio, which I'll elaborate on this a little bit further. So start to think of this and kind of plan out how you want to do your workouts from month to month to month. It gives you kind of psychologically something to look forward to, but it also, and I said it in the earlier presentation, if you neglect to plan, you're basically planning to fail, right? And that's really the context of this, is you're planning ahead for your workouts. So use these variables to your advantage. Use these types of this type of mindset to your advantage to plan out your workouts and figure out ways to lay out a nice solid 4-week plan. And when you come in, realize in a daily microcycle view how you'd like to come in and do a generalized warm-up, do a more specific warm-up, and then actually perform the workout and do myo at the end or myo in the beginning, and then have some stretching and cool down. So it's not just I'm going to come in and bench a bunch of weights and then leave and go to class. No. There's actually a framework that you'd like to follow along so you minimize the possibility of injury and you maximize your results. Because after all, you're in the dang gym, you're working super hard, you want to get those results. All right, guys, with that, go on and get yourself a good workout, and I'll catch you guys later on.